Welcome back, everybody. My name is Jon Nieh, one of the founding partners at Trowbridge Law Group. And the question of the week is, what is a syndication? If you watch my other video, the short answer video, I talked about different industries use that term, right? Syndication, or to syndicate something. There's television industry with broadcast syndication, where a show basically leases the rights to broadcast the show to multiple broadcasting companies, kind of like grouped together with their resources. There's in the finance industry, when lenders syndicate a loan, a group of lenders come together to fund a single loan. Crime syndicate, a group of criminals come together for a single criminal enterprise, and they become a crime syndicate. Well, for our industry, most of our clients who are real estate syndicators, what does it mean to syndicate in the real estate context? Well, basically, the short answer was a group of investors come together to pool their funds together to purchase a specific property, or whatever their goal is as far as acquiring real estate. It's a group of investors coming together and form a syndication. Well, that's the easy answer, but there's another question that you have to think about anytime that you're grouping funds together in a structure like that. And the question is, when does that rise to the level of a security? We're a securities attorney. This is the law that we specialize in. And we get asked all the time, when do we need to hire a securities attorney if we're going to syndicate a deal? And the answer to that question is basically, what is a security? Well, a security is investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit solely through the efforts of a promoter. And when you're looking at a syndication where investors, a group of investors, are pooling their funds together, the central question is there a promoter? Is there a sponsor who's in charge, who's making all the decisions? And are there a group of passive investors, right? That's the essential element of a security, is the fact that investors are passive in nature. Investors are not making the decisions as far as how to run the company. It's the sponsor, it's the promoter who is making all decisions and making a profit on behalf of investors. So that being said, a lot of syndications are structured either as a limited partnership or as an LLC. Those are the two main entities that are used in our industry. Limited partnerships, kind of the old school way of doing it. LLCs didn't really come into being until I think the 1970s, and now they're super relevant. Everyone uses LLCs, but LPs, limited partnerships, those terms kind of still get used because it was the old way of doing things. But anyways, limited partnership will always be a security because of the fact that limited partners, by definition, cannot have any control in the company. A limited partnership is controlled by the GP, the general partner. So there will always be an active and passive element of a limited partnership. And because of that, anytime you're doing a limited partnership, you are selling securities to your limited partners, and you need to hire a securities attorney. Well, what about an LLC? Well, an LLC can be member managed or manager managed. If an LLC is member managed and every single member of the LLC has a say in how the company is run, then it's not a security, generally speaking, because everyone has equal say. There's no sponsor, there's no promoter. It's just a group of people, group of investors that are coming together for a joint purpose. It's pretty much a joint venture, right? All the investors are members in the LLC, all have an equal say in how the company is run. There's no promoter. There's no security, generally speaking. If it's manager managed, though, however, that means the LLC is managed by the manager. It's very similar to a limited partnership with the GP and the LPs. In a manager managed LLC, you got the manager and then the members who are essentially limited partners. And if that's the case, and you're doing a managed LLC, then you are selling a security and you need to hire a securities law firm. Uh, so that's pretty much it as far as how do I determine if my syndication, my real estate syndication, rises to the level of a security, and you need to hire a securities law firm to prepare the PPM and all that stuff. Another question that we often get asked is, what's the difference between a syndication and crowdfunding? Well, oftentimes the two terms kind of overlap, right? Syndication is grouping together of a bunch of people, a bunch of investors for a common enterprise. When you're crowdfunding something, you're putting together a group of people, right? Usually online for a common enterprise. So, like a Kickstarter campaign, a bunch of people are putting their money together to basically pre-order a product on Kickstarter. Indiegogo, similar group of people are putting their money together for a common charity or somebody that needs to raise money for a healthcare cost or whatever the case may be. That's donation-based crowdfunding. Very similar to syndication, right? People are pooling their money together for a common enterprise. But I think crowdfunding has kind of a connotation of, number one, it's online, right? So it's the money raising is done online, and number two, it's open to the public, right? Anybody can donate to an Indiegogo campaign. Anyone can invest in a Kickstarter campaign. Even equity crowdfunding too. If you're doing a regulation crowdfunding offering, anyone can invest in one of those. Well, syndication could be a little bit different, right? You might do a real estate syndication that is not open to the public, that only a select group of private individuals can invest in. So there's a difference, but they do kind of overlap, right? A crowdfunding campaign can definitely be a syndication, and you could definitely syndicate using crowdfunding platforms. So there's overlap. It's not exactly the same thing, but they have a lot of similarities. So that's the difference between syndication and crowdfunding. Anyways, that's it for this week. Hope you guys learned a little bit. If not, tune in next week, well, where I talk about another question that we get asked all the time. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.